Okay, good afternoon. It's so great to see you all again in person and our virtual attendees as well. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Obi Griffith. I'm an associate professor here at WashU in St. Louis. I've been on the board of directors of the CGC for several years. I'd probably have to ask Carla for the exact number. Most recently, though, I've had the privilege to serve as the program chair last year and then to be your current president of the CGC. So one thing about being the CGC president is that you really don't do much of any one thing, but you get to see a little bit of everything that's going on. So all the work of our board members, the officers, the committees, the working groups, the programs, the members, and the meeting participants like you that make this organization what it is. And let me tell you, you have been up to a lot. So I'm going to give a quick State of the Union and try to acknowledge some of these contributions. So the CGC is growing, and we also like to say the CGC is growing up. So over the last 10 years, if you look back in 2013, we were an organization of about 100 members and maybe 100 to 200 meeting participants. And we've really tripled or quadrupled that today. So we're at something more like 400 to 500 members and meeting participants. We're becoming, as Rashmi mentioned, a global organization. She already gave you these stats that we have about 20% of our members now from international locations, and 5% of those are also from category 2, 3, and 4 resource-limited nations. So this is something we started tracking just last year and that we support through offering discounts to those individuals for meeting registration and membership. And being a member does have its privileges. So if you're a member, you can serve on the committees and working groups. You can reduce your registration for the annual meeting, get free subscription to our journal, Cancer Genetics, networking and career opportunities, and access to members-only content, including our increasingly large library of all the presentations from the past meetings, and that will include this one, going back to 2019. So if somehow you made it here to the meeting and you're still not a member, I do encourage you to go and sign up, become a member. It's very affordable, and you can do that through the website. So what has CGC been up to this year? I'm just including a few of the activities and highlights, and I'll go into some more in detail. But we've established a lot of infrastructure that's really about that growing up aspect in terms of establishing a more robust and professional organization. So this included things like a development committee for fundraising, drafting critical policies for anti-discrimination and board recruitment and codes of ethics and so on, standard operating procedures for financial controls, investment policies, volunteer management, and many more. We're in the process of a major overhaul of our bylaws. We had another very successful volunteer recruitment where and I think this is really a testament to the enthusiasm for the organization that we had 54 volunteers for just 11 positions. So if you missed out on one of those spots, don't feel bad. It was extremely stiff competition, and we are looking for more ways to get those volunteers involved. Our early career group has had multiple events, including the popular Coffee with Mentors. Our education committee has continued to offer a great webinar series, and now those are going to be available with PACE credits starting next month. We continue to grow our social media presence thanks to the efforts of the communications committee, and we're very close to being done preparing our 5-year strategic plan, which is really going to set up the next 5 years of the organization. So if you're interested in hearing any more details about that, please do attend the CGC update session and the business meeting. I want to acknowledge the CGC committees. So this is really the heart and lifeblood of the CGC in many ways. These are the chairs, co-chairs, and vice chairs of our 10 committees. And I want to point out that they are really just the representatives of a much larger group of volunteers. So I kind of couldn't believe this number, but we now have 105 committee members working in each of these different areas. And you can learn more about those committees on our new committees pages on the website. We also have a brand new committee, so this will be the 11th committee, I guess, on diversity, equity, and inclusion. So that has just been formed with Alka and Diana, I think both here in the audience, co-chairing that initiative. And I think they've just finished selecting their volunteers and will be launching that committee officially in the next little while. I want to give a few announcements, so please do save the date for some upcoming CGC webinar series. So early September, we're going to have Doctors Lebo and Schmidt, who are going to present on recommendations for the interpretation of low penetrance variants and risk alleles. We also have an ongoing genomic case series. So if you have interesting or educational cases that you would like to present in that case conference, please do consider submitting them. You can find that series on our website. There's a link right here. You just click. It's a simple form to submit your idea for a future case conference. It was mentioned that there's, I think, an early career initiative committee upcoming. We have a social tomorrow night, which is going to be in the Parkview room. That's for those in training or recently out of training. So please do join that after the poster session for free food and drinks and social activities and the return of the popular complimentary headshots. Another webinar, this is a collaboration between the Early Career Committee and Education Committee. They're going to be putting on a webinar later in September on seeking mentorship geared towards a successful career in work and lab environments. And so you can register for that using the QR code there, or again, we'll have information on the website about how to register. I want to acknowledge the work of our working groups. So we have 8 working groups that are working on various publications, recommendations, guidelines across these topics. Again, the group leaders that are acknowledged here are just representative of an even larger cohort of volunteers working on each of these initiatives. We do have also 2 new working groups. Linda Bond is kind of rebooting the plasma cell neoplasm working group, and Avinash and Yang are launching a new somatic overgrowth and vascular anomalies working group. And if you're interested in that particular topic, they are currently accepting volunteers. So if you missed out on the recent call for volunteers and that's an interesting topic to you, please reach out to them. I want to give a really quick reminder about the CCGA. So this is a program of the CGC, which is a wiki-based resource with expert real-time crowdsourcing of genomic aberrations in cancer. It aims to provide a current, in-depth genetic information for pathologic entities based on the disease structure of the WHO classification of tumors, or WCT books, or blue books. The CCGA is pioneering a nonprofit grant acquisition process for the CGC, so they're trying to get independent funding to support this CGC-led initiative. And the WCT publisher IARC and the CGC are going to continue a very successful collaboration working on the WCT and the CCGA going forwards. We have collaborations with many other organizations. I'll just highlight the Variant Interpretation for Cancer Consortium, who we've been working with. They just hosted a hackathon and curation jamboree here for the first time, officially co-hosted by the CGC yesterday, and I think that was a very successful event. And then wrapping up, I will just give a shout out to our CGC Board of Directors who kind of oversee the organization and the committees and the meeting. I want to make a special shout out to Patty, Linda, and Teresa, who will be rotating off the board. So I want to thank you guys for your years of contribution to the organization and your service. And then also just welcome our new board members. So Celeste, Kate, Adam, and Casey will be joining the board. Just like Rashmi, I want to thank the CGC staff. So they helped not only put this meeting together, but organize every other facet of the organization that I've kind of summarized here. And I want to put in a final shout out for attending the business meeting. So this is on Wednesday at 12:15. It's at the end of the meeting. If you're interested in hearing updates on the organization finances or other details, we'll have those. But there are also 2 important ratification votes. So especially voting members of the CGC should attend to approve the new CGC directors and also approve a change in membership categories and voting privileges. So just to say a little bit more about that second item, there has been a proposal from the membership committee, which we have worked on together with the board and that committee over the year, really proposing to kind of expand the representation of the CGC in voting and elections. And so the proposal is to extend voting, which traditionally was just for the doctoral category of members, to also include trainees and associates. And we also made some tweaks to the definition of those categories and added a new emeritus membership category. So please do come be part of that ratification and learn more about that extension of voting privileges. So I'll finish there. I'll just say please enjoy the meeting. Please take advantage of the social media if you want to tweet or post on LinkedIn or visit our YouTube or Facebook pages. I've provided the links there. And yeah, I'll just leave it there and I'll say enjoy the meeting, and then I'll transition to introducing our scientific program. So thank you.